Hi, guys and girls. So, spoiler alert, if you have not seen this movie, do not watch this video. Because I'm going to go into depth about this movie, of what I saw. Now, I watched this movie in hopes to find, there's a lot of negative reviews out there, and I was hoping to find the negativity, and I didn't see it. And I'm going to tell you why I didn't see it. So, Christian Grey goes into a hardware store where Anastasia works. He buys cable ties, rope, and duct tape. Now, let's assume that Anastasia is retarded as hell, because that's the only way I can explain that. Or that she's special, because I know we cannot use retarded, so she's special. Cable ties are used for rapists use cable ties, kidnappers use cable ties, police, if they don't have handcuffs for some strange reason, will use cable ties. Then after that, he takes her out for coffee. They were talking for a while, so he takes her out for coffee in the store. They talked. He takes her out to coffee afterwards, and he says, "You know what? I can't do this. I'm sorry. I'm no good for you. You need to stay away." And lets her go. He gives her a apology. "I'm sorry. I can't be the man for you. Here's some books, first edition." What did she do? Not text him and say, "Oh, thank you for the books. I can't accept this. Whatever." Nope, that's not what she does. She calls him when she is pissy drunk to the point where she fainted. And he could have taken advantage of her if he was psycho. That was a prime opportunity. "Welcome to my toy box, bitch." And could have done all kinds of things to her, but he did not. He waited until she was sober. And then when she woke up, he's like, "If you were mine, you would not sit down for a week." I don't know what she thought that meant. He told her several times what he was into. "I want to bite that lip. I think I would like it," was her reply. A whole bunch of stuff. Now, from my perspective, when a person tells you that they're no good for you and that they're fucked up and you need to get away and all this other stuff happens and you don't listen and you call them at most vulnerable time when you're pussy drunk, and he says he can't leave you alone, and you like, "Then don't." That's consensual. Consent. She's an adult. Again, she's not special needs. She's not gifted. She's in her right damn 5 senses. She's an adult. That's consensual consent. Then there was a disclosure agreement between them. That's the first contract. The second contract, he pulled out fully her diet, etc., 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 and he sat down with her after she read it and to see what she's willing to do and what she's not willing to do. And anything she was not willing to do, he crossed it out. Again, consensual consent. those of you who are newbies and those of you who are old schoolers. You know, if in order to play with a submissive in an ongoing basis in a DS relationship, a contract it must be drawn out to protect you and to protect your submissive. When I started dating Tim, who was pretty much like Anastasia, young, dumb, and immature, naive, I consulted with other people in the community about the situation because he was pretty much my first real relationship in BDSM. Before him I had a friend with benefit situation where if you're playmates, if you're playmates, not boyfriend and girlfriend, playmates, fuck you, Phil, you get your kink on and go your separate ways, a contract is not needed because you already know what y'all ended. You already pretty much know what you do want. But when I was with Tim, I consulted with others, and they said do a temporary. Start with 1 month, see how he likes it. Start with 2 months, see how he likes it. Continues growing as to keep renewing the contract as long as he's willing to continue to renew it. But we all know what happened with that. And if we don't, then that's for another chapter. Getting back to the movie. When he did scenes with her, he checked in with her. How does this feel? Do you want me to stop? There was aftercare. There was after a long night of fucking and some kink. He carried her to her room. Now, if I saw any kind of mental illness, was him not wanting her to touch him unless he invited her. That's straight from the page of Wild Orchid. If you old school, y'all know what Wild Orchid is, and if you're newbie, watch the movie. He, in Wild Orchid, he didn't want her to touch him at all. Not at all. Mm-hmm. In fact, he allowed somebody else to deflower her, break her virginity, in Wild Orchid. So that was a chapter ripped from that movie. And then, in the scenes that they had, excuse me, he had suspended her in leather cuffs. He had tied her up to the bed. All this was done. At the end of the movie, the quote-unquote breaking point, her breaking point, I had to smile because it was ridiculous. When she told him, then do your worst to me. This is worse in a toy box room full of all kinds of essentials goodies. His worst was to take off a belt and hit her 6 times, and that was the breaking point. Now, you would never do this shit to me again. Had she never been disciplined by her parents at all? 6 times, I wish my parents would. 6 times hit me with a belt. That would have been a vacation on my ass. I was like, oh, thank you so much, Daddy and Mom. 6 times with a belt. That was her breaking point. That was it. That was her hard limit. It was all over. So, the movie is good and crappy, but not for the reasons of abuse, neglect, all that other shit that's out there. And people in the community, you should be ashamed of yourself for saying such. Because it's not that long ago that DS DSM, the Diagnostic Statistic Manual, deprives the BDSM as a sickness. So be careful when you down stuff that is trying to shed light. If anything, I think Christian gave her too much will. Well, he sexualized it a lot. He didn't train her the way he was supposed to train her. And I was pretty much screaming at Christian Grey, but I have to remember that he is a dominant, not a sadist, and which is two different things. Christian, you did everything you were supposed to do. You even upgraded the whole. I'm sorry. You even upgraded Anastasia. She was living with a roommate. You gave her a room in a condo that she could probably never afford. You gave her a car that she could never afford. You upgraded her airplane tickets, helicopter rides, and everything else that she would never afford on her own. So he spoiled her before he even touched her. Or was it after? No, that was before. He gave her a lot before. So she was just unappreciative. And she couldn't comprehend why he needed that in his life or his relationship. And he just needed it. And that's why a lot of us are in the community, because the run-of-the-mill, everyday, honky-dory, hokey-pokey dance no longer excites us. It no longer thrills us. It has no moral. It has no taste. It has no seasoning in it. Imagine eating chicken forever without seasoning, without salt, without pepper, without stuff to make it great. There's a reason why chicken is the most exciting, most meal that you can have thousands of ways. And so is sex. So BDSM is just an aspect of sex, of chicken, and sex comparison. You can do it lots of ways. And still going. And still develop new ones all the time. And still add on. And still it be under the umbrella of great chicken and great sex. So, my dears, keep it classy, keep it sexy, and always keep it kinky. Bye for now.